Hey, what's up YouTube? Scooch back here again. As you can see, there's been a little bit of a change. Facial hair's gone. Yeah, that's really all that's changing for now. So today we've got a pretty special video for you. I'm actually here with Josh. He is hiding way off in the distance behind all of these beautiful Audis. Actually, some of them are beautiful. They're doing some things that I don't like with the new ones, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. I don't think I like it, but hopefully they bring it back to what they were doing, because they used to look so much better. Now they don't. Now they don't look as good, in my opinion, but that's me. Anyway, Josh just picked up this SI, and this is what it looks like. He got himself a black one. It is a 2020. He leased it. He is going to buy it out at the end, so he's planning on maybe doing a couple of things to it. Maybe an exhaust, maybe lower, maybe some wheels. We don't know yet, but we'll see what he does. All right, but yeah, we're going to get in, we're going to do a drive on it, and we're actually going to do a review on his Miata as well. So be in the... Oh. Josh lost his hat. All right, I'm going to hop in the car because it's way too windy out here, and I think it's going to distort all the audio. So we're going to get right into the review. All right, so we are in the Civic. Josh, you've been on like one video before.
Yep. For
like a split second, the first video actually. So tell us a little bit about this SI. What does it make for power, and what do you plan on doing with it in the future?
Well, it makes just over 200 horsepower.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I leased it for 3 years. I'm just about to graduate school, so I figured it was time to get out of the piece of shit car that I had, which was a Nissan Rogue,
mm-hmm.
and the CVT blew up on it.
Yes.
So I got into this lease for cheap. I'm probably going to buy it out at the end of the lease. I just decided to lease in general for a cheaper payment. I don't really plan on doing much to it. Maybe an exhaust to get rid of the HDMI port looking exhaust in the back.
Yes, the beautiful HDMI port.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Some people like it, some people hate it. I'm personally not a fan, but it sounds decent for what it is. It drives super well compared to what I'm used to. I don't know, just a fun little daily cruiser.
It is actually very, very comfortable. I've driven this car once before, and it is very, very comfortable. The shifter on it feels fantastic. It sits in just the right position, and it's just, honestly, you got really good visual. Seeing everything out of the car, you can see everything really well.
It's got really good technology. I love having the Apple CarPlay, obviously.
2020 upgrades you to the knob for the volume on the radio, which, coming from some people I know that have Civics, and then you got Josh with this one, you got to have the knob.
Yeah, the previous was the slide for the volume, and everybody hates that.
Yeah, it's not good at all. I don't really like toss this thing into any corners though. Does it handle?
You should. It handles very well. I have it on sport mode too.
Ooh,
so the steering is tight.
It does feel much tighter than I was used to last time.
So you can take it up the back 20 road.
That's what I was gonna do. It does feel really, really good. That feels pretty good.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Especially once the turbo kicks in.
Yeah, and it does. We found out last time it kicks in right around 35, which is where you'd expect most turbos to kick in.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels really, really good for what it is. And honestly, the price point of it is fantastic. When you put in perspective what you're getting for a car,
mm-hmm.
and you put that at what, 23 grand, I think, out of the box. So what was it, 25?
The sticker on this was about 28.
28.
Yeah, 28. I ended up paying just about 24,000 for it.
Oh, okay.
My lease payment's about 170 a month, which is not bad at all.
It's not bad at all when you take into consideration what you're getting.
Yeah, that was just with trading in the Rogue.
Yeah, this is an awesome car.
But it's got like a really smooth power delivery. Like it feels really very smooth. Linear.
Yeah, it builds boost really well. It's it does, like you said, it does have a very linear power band across the whole spectrum. Like it's just a great car. I don't even know that much else to say about it.
It almost feels naturally aspirated, honestly.
It does to an extent. I'll actually give you that. Yeah, it kind of does, because the way the turbo comes on, it's very, very smooth. It doesn't push you in your seat like a lot of turbos do.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of, and not all of them really push you in your seat even per se, but like you can feel when they kick in to an extent. This one is just so smooth and linear. It really, Josh makes a good point. It really doesn't feel like it has a turbo.
Yeah, you don't feel like you have to wait a long time for the power to get there. It feels pretty much right there at all times.
Well, the Civics have always, or the SIs at least, have always made around 200 horsepower. What the heck was that?
I don't know what the fuck that was.
Box?
That's
There goes my box of gems of camera stuff.
No,
back.
it's still up
Really?
there. I think it was something under the car, like a plastic bag.
Uh-oh. I just broke your Civic.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome.
What the fuck was that?
I have no idea. Honestly, the throws between each gear are fantastic too. They're really short.
It feels like just a short shifter
like a short
straight out of the box.
Does it do big burnouts?
I have not burned out in it yet. Like, the wheels will definitely cut
chirp.
loose a little bit, yeah.
Will they chirp between first and second?
It chirps between second and third for me, too. When I'm really getting on it, especially around turns, when I'm going from second to third, yeah, I'll get the wheels to chirp.
I would not have expected that.
I didn't expect it either. It scared me the first time.
Yeah? I think it would have scared me, too.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, I gotta be a little careful with it.
Yeah, I mean, mind you, the roads are still kind of cold some days, but that's still pretty impressive, even if they are just because they're cold. Like, that's still pretty impressive.
And I mean, it comes with all seasons, but they're pretty sporty all seasons.
Yeah, what are they?
I think they're the Pirellis.
Oh, they are the Pirellis. Yeah. That's a nice tire.
It's definitely a nice tire, but I don't know how comfortable I'd feel driving in, especially snow. Wet is all right. You can definitely feel the wet, though, on the road compared to what I'm used to. It feels a little slippy, but it feels good, especially dry.
I was going to say, because today's a pretty dry day, and I think it's close to, actually, I might even say it's almost 50 degrees out, which anything above like 45 is usually pretty decent to keep the tires warm.
Yeah, especially with the sun on the tar.
Right, exactly. And this is good. This is a nice. Now, have you really played with the lane assist and stuff like that? Like, as far as how do you like using that so far?
Coming from Audi, which is the only other real like adaptive cruise technology I've used, at least for like a decent amount of time, I think it's actually better.
Really?
Which, compared to the German cars, yeah, because I've used Mercedes, BMW, and Audi. I've used all of them for extended drives, even like from Massachusetts to New York, like distances. And I find, especially with the lane assist, that it's better. Because what I find is that a lot of the vehicles will bounce between the lanes, like it's sensing where each lane is, and it's like just keeping you in between. Honda's sees both lanes, and it'll just keep you in the middle of them. It's not bouncing you around like the others. And then the adaptive cruise, keeping the distance in front of you, they all pretty much work the same. I feel like the German cars will see a vehicle ahead at a further distance, and it'll keep you regulated at a slower speed. This will wait until you get decently close. You can obviously set the distance, but it'll brake harder than the other ones. It doesn't bother me, but for somebody that can get sketched out by that technology, it's definitely something that might freak them out. I have pretty decent trust in it. Yeah. Depending on the speed and what roads. I wouldn't necessarily use it in traffic in California, but for our highways that aren't crazy busy, at 75, even 85 miles an hour, it's fine.
Now, my question would be, this car I don't believe has all the settings that like the Audis do. The Audis, now when Dex and myself first started working at Audi, we took an A4 from here to New Jersey, and it was a Prestige one. Yep. And that car, we noticed exactly what you said. We would be driving, and we would wait for it to come on, and it would be like in the lane. Yes. And it would be right on the line, and then it would start to turn, and you were like, it was a little scary, but what you can do with that is you can mess with all the settings, and you can make it so that it kicks in sooner. So rather than waiting for the last second for it to find the lane and then turn you, it finds it so it keeps you in the center of the lane instead of bouncing you back and forth. It sounds like what you're saying is Honda doesn't have any of that all those extra buttons. It basically just says, you're going to use this technology, we're just going to keep you in the middle of the lane.
It might have sensitivity settings within the infotainment. I haven't dug into it just because I found it works great. Right. I did play with the one you're talking about in the Audis. I just found that it bounced me faster around the lane. I didn't feel like it kept me centered. Really? It was just bouncing me harder.
It's nice, it's nice that you've had experience with both of them. I've really just experienced them in the Audis. But you've got both, so you really notice the differences between the two and how one is better than the other. But I mean, to say that it's better than Audi, I'm not saying you're wrong, but it's definitely going to step on some toes. Because that's you would think that the Germans had it figured out,
especially for how expensive they are and how much like money they put into their technology.
Right,
you would assume to be better.
Exactly, and you would hope that it's better because of the money that you're paying. But sometimes these lower brands, they really do just figure it out or they don't try as hard. Audi wants all those different gadgets, all those different settings within the system.
Yeah.
Honda or Toyota or something like that is just going to say, listen, we don't need all of that. Just throw it in there and make sure it works.
Yeah. Well,
and
it also
people
depends.
will be happy.
Yeah, because you can go at that like lane assist at different ways. You can use like stuff that's up here behind the mirror that's looking at the road itself and trying to keep it between the lanes that way. Or you can also have the sensors on the front of each of the bumpers marking where each lane are.
Right.
So it depends on how these companies are doing it. I don't know specifically for Audi whether it's the camera or the sensors. Honda only has the sensors behind the mirror. So that's it.
That's true too.
I don't know if that's the way to go then. They're just good at getting it done, simplifying it and banging out what they need to do.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, all in all, beautiful car, heated seats, dual climate control. I mean, you really can't complain what you got here. Bang for your buck. It's definitely worth the money, and it's a beautiful car to look at. They really did this year pretty well. Well, Josh, thank you for coming on the channel with this. Appreciate it. Always down to drive anything new, especially something like this, because I was itching to drive one of these long before you got one. When they first started making them, I was like, I'd be very interested to see how Honda has started using turbo technology and things like that to improve the way their cars handle and perform. So
yeah, they did a great job with this one for the upgrade for the 2020s, because it has the 6% lower gear ratio, so it's even faster than the 19s. It has the upgraded headlights from the LEDs, or from the halogen to the LEDs, which is what Kyle has. Sorry, Kyle, doesn't look as pretty. No.
But yeah, no, this is fantastic. So we will we'll wrap this up here, and we will actually go hop in your Miata, and we'll get one of those, because I am, I love that Miata, and I've done a lot more work on that than I have on this, so I'm a little more familiar with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, all in all, great car. If you're looking for something daily to drive, that's a good budget, or that's budget friendly, and you are okay with front wheel drive, SI is the way to go. So like, subscribe, comment down below. Let us know what you think of the car. Let us know if you prefer the older naturally aspirated Vtec models, or if you've driven the new turbo one and you think it's better. Give me some insight on how you feel about it. But other than that, we'll catch you in the next video, and have a great day.
Scooch out.
Scooch out.